Here's a $600 sports photography camera setup. It used to be $500 before all the prices went up. I have that video up still. You can get the Sony a6000 on MPB for about $450 without a crazy shutter count. The Sony a6000 is not a unremarkable camera by any means in 2025, but for $450 for everybody that's on a Rebel, for everybody that's on a D3200 Nikon or some Canon 90D or 60D or whatever those things are called, outside of like the 1DX. 1DX, from what I heard, is really good because a lot of my beginners are on those type of cameras or in those series of cameras. The Sony a6000 also with the Sony E-mount is definitely better than those budget options. The autofocus is not up to date, but it's super reliable. The shooting speed isn't 30 or 40 like a lot of cameras today, but it is a reliable 10 or 11. If you're somebody on a budget, the Sony a6000 is a very, very, very reliable camera to start with. And then for lens, you can get the Sony 55-210. This is a variable aperture with the top part of the aperture being, I believe, f6.3, but it could be f6.7. This is a Sony made pretty much kit lens. And no, it is not the nicest lens at all. It is far from it. But for it to be this cheap in comparison to like the Canon 75-300, it is nowhere near that bad. And this lens I've had personally, this is not me reading from reviews. I personally started getting clients with this lens. During the day, it is very solid. But I have a video on my page right now that's talking about denoising. And to be even more specific, if you go back further enough, my first ever denoising video was with pictures that I took with this exact lens. So I know for a fact there's not a crazy amount of like sharpness lost on the corners. There's not like really bad chromatic aberration going on. Again, it's a cool like grade C lens. Like it's not a C minus, it's like a C. But for $150, it doesn't get much better than this. I have multiple people in my camera community that have the same exact setup and they have some very solid photos. And I'm directly challenging people with Canon Rebels and with the Nikon D3000, 2000 series. I've seen a lot of work for people that have those cameras. This setup provides better quality photos than that setup. And I get it, my Canon Rebel and D3000 series Nikon users are gonna drop your photos down in the comments. If you're gonna do that, just make sure it's an action photo. Don't do a picture of somebody standing around. That does not show a good measurement of how good a photo is for sports photography. If you have any other questions, let me know down in the comments and make sure to follow.